Welcome to Senior Mash predicting National League Rugby Division 1 results with help from Talking Rugby Union. Not forgetting the man versus machine battle. And here's a reminder of last weekend's results. And of course, one result in particular caught my eye. Stunning. Sedgley Park get a win. Long afternoon on Saturday, and certainly for me, game didn't go as I was expecting, nor I don't think as most people who watched it. Sedgley Park came out the winners. First 15 minutes they were on fire. They played really well. Bob Birtwell leading from the front. A little bit sticky between 10 and 12, but certainly having Bedlow at centre with his strength overcame that, let's call it, stickiness. Then Bishop Stortford came straight back into it. Quite outstanding, really. And my sense as we finished the first half was this is another loss on its way for Sedge. But despite Bishop Stortford's possession, despite their territory, they couldn't score in the second half, and Sedge did. Now, for me, the big difference was a replacement that came on midway through the first half, young back rower called Bennett, and I think he was the difference between the two teams. Really outstanding runner, sort of taking me back to watching Sedge with Krause or Matt Lamprey or Tom Ailes at number 8. Really dynamic, powerful running, and for me that made the difference. But as I say, hat tip to Mr. Bedlow to lose one week, Sedgley Park the next, and Ollie Glass yet again outstanding. I'm still unsure whether he shouldn't be playing at fly half, but that's for another day. Thank you, Sedge, for restoring my faith and certainly helping me in my predictions. Let's look at a little more detail from the rest of the games played on the 24th of January. National League Rugby Division 1. Let's look at what the 24th of January brought us, what it means, what's next. So, let's start the story of Saturday the 24th of January. Saturday wasn't about close calls, it was about authority. At the top end, the contenders didn't just win, they made statements. Rotherham 73, Leicester Lions 24. This was relentless. 11 tries, total dominance, and no let up. Rotherham didn't just win. They reminded the league what chasing them actually feels like. Sale 57, Clifton 0. Didn't see Clifton being zeroed. The scoreline absolutely jumps off the page. Sale clearly were ruthless, clinical, and completely in control. The Dogs were on top. Clifton never seemed to get a foothold, and that 0 hurts at this stage of the season. Blackheath 43, Ding 7. Blackheath did exactly what top 3 sides should do against the bottom half opposition. Fast start, pressure maintained, no drama. And probably the big top of the table game was Plymouth Rosslyn Park. Plymouth 41, Rosslyn Park 10. Probably one of the most telling results of the weekend. I felt Rosslyn Park were coming into the game with huge momentum. So for Plymouth to take the victory in the way they did, you can only assume that there was a calmness, they were composed, and clearly very convincing. And further down the table, well, Birmingham Moseley 27, Tonbridge Judinians 27. A draw that suits neither team. Tonbridge lose ground on the top 6. Moseley miss a chance to pull clear. Leeds Tykes 24, Rams 34. Rams continue to be the league's disruptors, shall we say. Not flashy, but effective when it matters most. And then there was the game I was at, Sedgley Park 30, Bishop Stortford 14. Much closer than the game suggests. Bishops had the territory and the possession, but unlike the previous 5 games, Sedgley were actually sharper in the red zone and they managed to make this count. You can see what it meant to Bob Burwell. So, what does it mean for the table? The league is now clearly splitting into 3 battles. The title race, Plymouth Albion are top on 70 points and still look to me to be the most complete side. But let's not underestimate Rotherham, who are very close behind, I think with a game in hand even. This is shaping up as control versus power. And to me, that's a proper title race. The chasing pack, well, Blackheath and Sale are level on 63 points. Rosslyn Park keep edging forward, then slipping back, but they're very much alive. Margins now matter. Bonus points, clearly very important at this stage of the season. Big wins like Sales and Blackheath's really matter. The survival scrap, this is when it gets uncomfortable. Sedgley Park, Clifton, Birmingham Moseley, Dings, Leeds are all separated by very fine margins. Leicester Lions are now looking at serious trouble. Every fixture between now and March, April is effectively a 6-pointer. What does Senior Mesh versus ChatGPT reveal? Now we've got to look ahead. What are my predictions and what are ChatGPT's predictions for the coming weekend? This weekend feels like a pressure round rather than a glamour round. Here's what I'm expecting. Birmingham Moseley versus Rams. Rams to edge this, in my opinion. They're just better at ugly January rugby. Not something I ever thought I'd hear myself saying about Rams. Bishop Stortford versus Sale. Well, the way Sale are going, I've got to say it's a comfortable win for Sale. But you know, I was impressed by Bishop Stortford. I just couldn't get my head around during the game at Sedge why they couldn't turn the territory and possession into points. But I think Sale will definitely spell blood. And it's Clifton versus Leeds Tykes. I think this is a massive game. It's pivotal this season. And given the journey, I'm going to take Clifton at home, but only just. And you know, I didn't get the chance to go down to watch the Sedge-Clifton game, but underfoot, the Clifton ground looked very heavy. And I know with recent storms, that pitch could be a deciding factor, one that no matter how much data you've got, very difficult to build. If you've got an algorithm on it, do let me know. Then it's still in the southwest of England, it's Dings Crusaders v Plymouth. Still travel, but maybe not as much travel as Plymouth are used to. It should be Plymouth by plenty. That control, that confidence, and they don't seem to slip up against teams below them. You know, earlier in the season when I saw Plymouth at Sedgley Park, I thought Sedge were in it and then got a very decisive yellow card against them. And at that point, Plymouth were absolutely ruthless. So, what more can I say? Leicester Lions versus Sedge. Now, there's one for the ages. Been going, watching Leicester Lions and Sedge for many years. National 2 North. My son Max playing. I've seen all the Sedge players come up playing against those purple shirts. They're both in National 1 now, and both have slipped in the last 8 weeks, and unfortunately for Leicester Lions, that slip has been greater than for Sedgley Park. Huge relegation battle. Sedgley Park just need to maintain that improvement in the red zone, and that's going to be decisive for me. Again, towards the top of the table, we've got Rosslyn Park versus Rotherham. Now, this should be the one to get our hearts beating. Rosslyn's ambition versus Rotherham's power. If Rosslyn Park can survive the first 20 minutes, then I think this game gets very interesting. And the final game, well, TJ's versus Blackheath. I think TJ's are dangerous at home, but I'm going to take Blackheath to win. But they'll need to earn it. January doesn't lie. At the top, the best sides are separating themselves. At the bottom, mistakes are getting punished. By the time February arrives, the league will have already made its mind up about a fair few of those teams. But what do I actually think? Let's get a little more into the detail. Over to you. So, what are this weekend's picks? How is Senior Mash going to go against ChatGPT, the 4th round in 2026? Let's face it, both of us have now locked in our winners and locked in our margins. Birmingham Moseley v Rams, we're both going with Rams. I'm going by 6 points, ChatGPT by 9. Then it's Bishop Stortford v Sale. I'm going Sale by 12. ChatGPT's going Sale by 15. Then Clifton v Leeds Tykes. I'm going Clifton by 5. ChatGPT's going Clifton by 8. Dings Crusaders versus Plymouth. Well, Albion I see by 18 points, and ChatGPT sees a higher margin, 22 points. Leicester Lions versus Sedgley Park. Well, you know I'm going to go with Sedgley, and I'm going with Sedge by 7. And ChatGPT surprised me on this one. It's going with Sedge by 10. Rosslyn Park versus Rotherham. I'm going with a slim 5-point win for Rotherham, and ChatGPT saying Rotherham by 12. TJ's v Blackheath. Well, I'm Blackheath by 6, and ChatGPT is Blackheath by 9. Some of the pressure points to keep your eyes on. Rosslyn Park v Rotherham. It's going to be tough. If Rosslyn make this tie, they could have some bragging rights. Clifton v Leeds, proper relegation scrap. Margins matter here more than any other fixture, in my opinion. Leicester Lions versus Sedgley, well, survival energy versus confident. And let's face it, the key stat that I keep going on about is that improvement in red zone efficiency. And that young back row Bennett and that on loan Sale Sharp Bedlow certainly gave them a level of momentum going forward that I've not witnessed in the previous 8 games. And then Moseley Rams, I think for many years I saw Rams as the attractive rugby team. This year they seem to be really able to dog out games, and they can win ugly. In many ways it's January rugby in a nutshell, and they're doing it well. So the rights picks are in. We agree on most winners this week, but the margins are where it gets interesting. And as we've already seen, the love of this league is that the league loves to prove both of us wrong. And if you're loving Rugby Predictions Senior Mash versus ChatGPT, You can see more of my work on Substack or on Talking Rugby Union's YouTube.